Hello. How are you? My name is Anna. So if you can hear me well, please write in the chat hello so that I can see that you are with me. Also, please say if you see the presentation on your screen. Hi, Yana. Okay. Do you hear me? Everything is okay? Please answer if you can. Okay. So, okay, yes. Thank you, Yana. Okay, what about the rest? Don't be shy. Okay, so as I said, my name is Anya. I'm the teacher of Kia, and today I'm going to tell you about conditionals. So please take your seat, make yourself comfortable, take your cup of tea or whatever, and just listen what I will tell you. So, because this topic is quite interesting and also it is a little bit difficult, I guess, because a lot of students make a lot of mistakes in these conditional sentences. First of all, let's speak about what is a conditional, yes? So, in Russian, I guess you remember the phrase, and it is the name of our webinar. Если бы да кабы, то во рту росли бы грибы. So, in fact, so in English, we also have such sentences. Have a look. So, conditional sentences are statements or sentences discussing known facts or hypothetical situations. Hypothetical situations are the situations that are likely to happen, and their consequences, or easier, just results. So, as you see, there are four main types, and it means that there are four patterns that you need to remember, just not to mix them up. Structure is very important, and you will see it a little bit later, because if you use one structure instead another structure, you will say absolutely different thing, and there can be a kind of misunderstanding. You will have to explain what you meant. I guess that structure is quite strict. That's why it's quite easy to learn it and to remember it. But if you still doubt, you can have a look at the verb in the if clause, because it will just give you a hint what kind of construction you should use in the main clause. So, as I said, there are two clauses in this sentence. What is clause? Clause is a part of a sentence. So there is if clause and there is a main clause. So let's have a look at these examples. So zero conditional and first conditional, these are two different types of conditionals. But before we are going to talk about them, we need to understand just the structure. Have a look. The first part, if you don't brush your teeth, you stink. By the way, do you know the word stink? Oh, it smells not very good. So, if you don't brush your teeth, this part before the comma is called if clause, yeah, or conditional clause. After the comma, you have the main clause, you stink, for example. So, if we have a look at first conditional, we have the same situation here. If you don't brush your teeth, you will stink. So, but maybe the tense is a little bit different in the main clause because the conditionals here are different. By the way, it doesn't matter from what clause you start. You can say you stink if you don't brush your teeth. You will stink if you don't brush your teeth. It doesn't matter really, they are interchangeable. So, as I said, there are four patterns. So you see two of them, zero conditional and first conditional. Can you tell me what is the difference? Can you write it? What word differ here? So I will give you a small hint. It's in the main clause. So what is this word? Yeah, absolutely right, will. So you see, in fact, they are different tenses. In the zero conditional, it is present simple, and in first conditional, it is future simple. Yes. So let's have a look at another conditionals. So the second, if you didn't brush your teeth, you would stink. But you are such a neatnik. By the way, do you know this word? So it really means that you are very tidy. You do not really like to be dirty and, well, that thing. In fact, it's a good word. It's not offensive. So, and if we have a look at the third conditional sentence, if you hadn't brushed your teeth, you would have stunk, and I would never have married you. So, what is the difference here? Again, have a look at the main clause. So, if you can, please write. Okay. So, if you just have a look at it closely, you see you would stink and you would have stunk. So, they are different. I won't just give you too much grammar, not to make your brain collapse, but you just see that it's a kind of a perfect thing in the third conditional, if you see. Okay, so four conditional types: zero, zero, first, second, third, and fourth. So let's now understand what is the main difference between them. So, and we will start with the zero conditional. So, zero conditional is so-called general truth. Yes? So, it means that one thing always, always causes another. So, for example, we are going to speak about it later, but have a look here now. So, it's real, it's possible, it's like 100% true. The pattern is present simple plus present simple, and the result that we gain when we just complete the condition, yes, it is guaranteed. It means like you will have it 100%. So we speak with the help of this condition about now or about always. Yes. So I have some examples for you. So have a look. Like again, the previous. If you don't brush your teeth, you stink. So by the way, in this type of sentence, you can interchange like if and when are the same here. So it doesn't matter because it is the general truth. Yes? So now, can you please give me some of your ideas? Like you can choose one or maybe two. It depends on how fast you can type. Like, for example, if you heat ice, can you please continue with present simple? Or, for example, the grass gets wet if or when, like, or when you don't water the plants, what happens? I seldom water my plants, and it always happens with them. Water becomes solid when, so if you like, please type. Okay. If you heat ice, it melts. Yes, very good example. Don't be shy. Please interact. It's It's very, very strange when you talk with yourself. Okay, so I will just show you my examples. So if you heat ice, it melts. The grass gets wet if it rains. When you don't water the plants, they die. Poor plants. Water becomes solid when you freeze it. Yes? It is below 0 degrees. Yes, thank you, Margarita. Yes. Okay, so you see, I think these are general truths. So you just won't doubt these truths. Yes, especially about some physical things. So let's have a look now at the first conditional. So first conditional, as you see, so it's real as well as the zero conditional, but it's like you a little bit doubt, yes, the outcome. So result is likely to happen, but it's like 50 or 75%. You are sure that it will happen. So you will speak about present and future with the help of this conditional, and the structure is practically the same, but the only difference is that in the main clause you use not present simple but future simple. So let's have a look at the example. So okay, this one. If you don't brush your teeth, you stink. Oh, sorry, it's not this one. Sorry, this one. So you will stink or maybe not. We doubt. Yes? So again, please your examples. If it rains, so if it rains, what will happen? I'll watch this video if, so what will you do if you don't watch this webinar up to the end? What will happen? So if you can, please write. We'll be very glad to see your answers. Everything will be wet. Yes. Okay. Very good. Nice. So let me show you some of my examples. If it rains, you will get wet. So we are close. So I'll watch this video if I have time. What will you do if you miss the plane? If you don't watch this webinar up to the end, you will miss important information. So perhaps. Okay, so now can you just feel the difference between the zero conditional and the first conditional? If yes, please put the plus in the chat so that we can go further. Yeah, okay, thank you. Okay, very good. So, okay. Alec, I understood that it was plus. Okay, so then let's go to a little bit more difficult constructions because they are difficult because they are just constructions. They are very long. So we are going to speak about the second conditional. So you see here that we are talking about some hypothetical or unreal situation. So just imagine what can be hypothetical for you. For me, maybe the best, I guess, example of hypothetical situation is if I were you. So it means I can't be you by any means. So it's unreal for me, but still I can imagine. Or maybe maybe Matrix will come one day, and we will just exchange our minds. So perhaps it can be, but not in the nearest future. Yes. So This hypothetical, unreal situation, in percentage, you see, like, it's very, very small. So it's about now or about any time. So it's quite, well, you can use it. It's very usable. So the pattern is not very easy as well. So you use past simple in if clause, and in main clause, you use would plus infinitive without to. So I put it like would plus verb. So the result of this conditional is unrealistic. Yes? So if we see the example, so if you didn't brush your teeth, you would stink. But it's impossible because you never forget to brush your teeth, for example. But there still a little bit of like maybe possibility that sometimes it might happen, like you are just pressed for time, well, maybe some troubles and so on, and you forgot, and well, that happens. Okay, so let's have a look at your examples. Yes, so remember, we have past simple after if and would after in the second part in the main clause. So if you fell, what would you do? You would buy me a diamond ring if. So you wouldn't be so tired if I were you. So please. By the way, while you are typing, so mind the last construction, so it's not a mistake. So because you wouldn't be so tired if you went to bed early. Okay, okay, very good. So as I'm talking about if I were you, this construction is mostly used in oral speech. So in writing, you can use if I was you according to the rules, but in speech it's just common, and a lot of like Americans and British use this phrase. Okay, so any other? Okay, if I were you, I wouldn't go to this party. Yeah, okay, very good. Nice. So let me give you some of my examples. If you fell, you would hurt yourself. Sorry, so it's a little bit misprint. You would buy me a diamond ring if you really loved me. So you wouldn't be so tired if you went to bed early. If I were you, I would remember this sentence. Yeah. Okay. If you felt danger, I would say so. Yeah, but fell here, it's the second form of what verb? It's like fall, fell, fallen. So, and if we speak about feel, then it's another form. Feel, felt. Yes? Okay. So, it was the second conditional, and now we are going to speak about the third conditional. The third conditional is the most difficult according to the construction and according to the understanding, I guess, because it's absolutely unreal. So sometimes it is even contrary to reality, meaning like it can't happen now, never, ever, So the pattern is past perfect. And in the second part, we have a very long construction called would have plus the verb in the third form, like would have done. Yes? So the result could be different, but, well, regrettably, it never happened. Yes? So this conditional has the flavor of regret, really. If you regret something, you can use this. So it's about past. So have a look at the example. So if you hadn't brushed your teeth, you would have stunk. And I wouldn't have thought that you were a nice guy, wouldn't have gone out with you, and wouldn't have married you. So I hope you feel my regret. Yes? So this construction is really seldom used in English because you see they are quite positive, and they avoid such constructions that might be very negative. And this construction is like the meaning of this construction is quite negative. So, but still, it doesn't mean that you should avoid it. If you can say it perfectly well, well, it's wonderful. Yes? So let's try and make some of the examples. So, if I had known you were coming. If I had known, yes, this is past perfect. So after this, you need to put would have plus the third form. You would have passed your exam if. So after if, we use past perfect. So it means had plus the third form. So if you can, please write the example. So I would have order. Okay, very good, but order is a regular verb. Yes, so it means sorry, a little bit misconnection. So I was ordered. So we spoke about this word that it is regular verb, so that's why it needs the ending ed. Yes, absolutely right. So any other people would like to write the examples? If not, then let's make a small task. So I will read you, it will be quite difficult. I will read you the sentences. So, and you need to tell me just which type is it. So 0, the first, the second, or the third. Okay? Do you understand the task? Okay, very good. So, okay, the first sentence. If my sister wasn't ill, she would go out. If my sister wasn't ill, she would go out. Okay, very good. Nice. So the second one. If I had a driving license, I would drive you there. If I had a driving license, I would drive you there. Okay, very good. If you try this meal, you will like it. Okay. If you hadn't stayed with me last night, I would have felt so frightened. If you hadn't stayed with me last night, I would have felt so frightened. Yes, very good. Sam feels lonely. He would be happier if he was married. Sam feels so lonely. He would be happier if he was married. 4. No, we do not have type 4. Okay. If he doesn't drink anything, he is thirsty. If he doesn't drink anything, he is thirsty. Yes, very good. The taxi driver didn't know the address. I would have arrived on time if we had known it. The taxi driver didn't know the address. I would have arrived on time if we had known it. Okay. So in the last sentence, I would have arrived if he had known it. So this is in fact type 3. Yes. Yes, absolutely right. Okay, well done. So this chart that you see now on the screen, you will receive as additional material to this webinar. So that's why you can study this chart at home as well. Yes, absolutely right. Okay, so now let's do the following thing. In fact, there are some special cases. What I want to say is that today we are not going to speak about something, we do not dig very deeply, because of course in absolutely every topic you can find a lot of different things and exceptions. But today we are going to speak mostly about general ideas. So you must understand that there are some special cases when you can violate the rule. So the first one is that usually there is a rule. We never use will or would in if clause. So if we have if, so never use will. It's just a very strict rule. But there is one violation, and you can see it on your screen. So if aspirin will help my headache, I'll take a couple tonight after this webinar. So in this situation, we see that the action in if clause will take place after the action in the main clause. So if we have this kind of sentence, so we can violate the rule and put if there. But it's just one thing, yes? Also, we can speak about the next construction, that is were to. It's not about if I were you. It's not this one. If you see the example, if I were to be sick, I would miss this webinar. So perhaps it can be quite difficult to understand what I mean. But if you use this construction, you emphasize the potential outcome if you think that it is really bad, particularly awful, or even unthinkable. So it means like if I were to be sick, in Russian you might be like translating только в случае, если я буду очень болен, я пропущу этот вебинар. So it means like it's an emphasis, and as all emphasizes, moderation is my religion. It means you shouldn't use these constructions too often, because it makes your speech very emotional. And when you are too emotional, people sometimes are really afraid to talk to you because you are over emotional. So you just please remember these two things, and just you can use them in speech, or you can even hear them quite often in different things like TV series or maybe reading books. So if you see them, it's not a mistake, it's just the violation of the rule, special case. Okay, so speaking about mistakes, can we make another task? So I will read you a sentence, and if you think this sentence is correct, please put plus in the chart. But if it is incorrect, please put minus, okay? So, the first sentence. If you will book before the 1st of April, you will receive a 20% discount. I will repeat. If you will book before April the 1st, you will receive a 20% discount. What do you think? Is it correct or incorrect? Yes, absolutely. Probably correct or incorrect. What do you think? Okay. So, in fact, it is incorrect, of course, because if you will book, yes, we cannot use will here. It's not a special case. Yes? So that's why please be attentive in such sentences. Better not to use will in if clause. If you just doubt, just don't use it. Okay, the next sentence. If I were you, I wouldn't do it now. If I were you, I wouldn't do it now. What do you think? Is it correct or incorrect? Yes, very good. Absolutely right, it's correct. So, and what conditional is this? If I were you. Yes, number 2. Yes. Okay, the next one. If we would have a bigger flat, we would invite friends to come and stay. If we would have a bigger flat, we would invite friends to come and stay. So what do you think? Is it correct or incorrect? Yes, absolutely right. It's incorrect because, again, we cannot use would after if. Okay, so the next one. I can't join you, but I would go with you later if you didn't mind. I can't join you, but I would go with you later if you didn't mind. Okay. Yes, absolutely right. Yes, it's correct. Okay, and maybe let's make one more thing. So, if the weather would not have been so bad, I would have gone to meet them. I will repeat because it's long. If the weather would not have been so bad, I would have gone to meet them. What do you think? Is it correct or incorrect? Okay, so if the weather would not have been so bad, I would have gone to meet them. Yes. Very good. Yes, it's not correct. So we need to put here hadn't been because this is type number 3. Yes? Okay. So, and the last one. I didn't speak German. If I had spoken German, we wouldn't have got lost. I didn't speak German. If I had spoken German, we wouldn't have got lost. Yes. What type is this? Yes. This is type number 3, and it's absolutely correct. So, well done. So, do you have any questions about these types of conditional sentences? Let's have a look at them one more time. So, we have 4 general types of conditional sentences: 0, type 1, type 2, and type 3. 0 and type 1 are real conditionals. Type 2 and type 3 are unreal conditionals. So 0 conditional, it's a general truth, usually a physical law, yes. Type 1, it's a possible condition and possible result. Type 2, it's hypothetical condition and probable result. Type 3, it's unreal past condition and unreal past result. Yes? So you see, in fact, if you understand what tense, what you would like to describe, present, past, or future, so it's quite easy to choose the type. If you already chose the type, you just need to remember the pattern. So the patterns are also very easy. They can be, we start with if clause, yes? So it should be like present simple, present simple, present simple, future simple. These are real conditionals. So hypothetical, starting with past. Past is always like doubtful, yes? So past simple, would plus verb. Past perfect, would have plus the third form. Yes? So the more you have after if, the longer construction you will have after the comma in the main clause. That's why just be attentive. So you see a small spoiler here. These are called mixed type, mixed conditionals. And I guess this is the worst thing in this type, because when you mix something, there is just a very big possibility of making a mistake. So that's why now let's talk about mixed conditionals. So what is mixed conditionals? Why should we mix them? Yes? So we can imagine the situation. So I think it's quite typical for Russian, like when we regret about past condition. So when we think that something, the situation was probable, but regrettably you didn't take the chance that time. Yes, and now you have some consequences. Yes, like not having something or not going anywhere, so something like this. So or there can be another thing, like when you think about a present situation, for example, I'm afraid of butterflies, really, like I'm petrified. So, and once, like my younger sister asked me to come with her to a museum of butterflies. Just imagine, it is awful. So, and I just wanted to say no to her. So that's why, like, I can say, because now I know that I'm afraid of butterfly. In the past, I couldn't just come with you to this museum because I'm afraid of butterflies, and I just have it now. So, but let's make it structured, okay? So I tried to make it like simple first. First of all, what conditionals can we mix? Mostly we mix the second conditional and the third conditional. If you remember, these are hypothetical and unreal type. Yes? So we have the structures if and after this we have the part of if of second conditional, and then we have the part of third conditional, the main clause of third conditional, and vice versa. I guess that now you are looking at the screen thinking like, what the hell she is talking about? That's why let's make it a little bit more like in plain English. Yes? So it means that after if, for example, we can use past simple, yes? And then we can use would have plus the third form. Or we can use past perfect after if, and after that we use in the main clause would plus verb. So the structure is visible now, yes? So let's go further and let's see the examples, yes? The first one, like, if I were a sushi maker, I would have known what to do with this fish. So the situation there, in this sentence might be the following. For example, a person went to Japan and he was suggested just to maybe to cook fish, and he just said no because, well, I don't know what to do with this fish. And then, remembering this fact, afterwards he might say this construction, like, if I were a sushi maker, I would have known that what to do with this fish previously in the past. Yes? So, another thing, if Jim had taken his painkillers 2 days ago, he would be fine. So I guess this construction is more understandable because the situation happened in the past, but now we have the consequences. So he's not fine now, or maybe he is not fine in the future. Yes. And we just regret the fact that he hadn't taken that painkiller. So, do you understand what I'm talking about? Please, just sign something, type something. Or is it still difficult? A bit. Okay, so I will open the mixed type. Yes, so let's have a look at the usage one more time. So the mixed type, if we speak about unreal past condition and its probable result in the present, yes, where we have past perfect and would have. So let me just try to give you some examples. For example, if we had bought a good map, we wouldn't be in the middle of nowhere now. Do you understand this example? If we had bought a good map, we wouldn't be in the middle of nowhere now. Yes? So it means like we regret that we do not have a map with us. Yes? So another example. If you had sold your business, you would enjoy life now. Do you understand this example? If you had sold your business, you would enjoy life now. Okay, very good. So it's the same. We are talking about the past situation that was unreal. Yes? And now the consequence is the following. So the difference of this type from the type 3, if you see that the result of type 3 was in the past, and the result of this mixed type is in present. Do you understand that? So you can regret about past. So you hadn't done something and something didn't happen. Yes? That just your history. But you can regret another situation that you hadn't done something and now the result is maybe upset and you are not happy with that. So the next mixed type that might be maybe a little bit more difficult. So it's hypothetical present condition, yes, and its probable result in the past. So it's vice versa. So we are talking about the situation now, but we think about the past, yes? So let me try and give you just some example. If I wasn't afraid of flying, I would have visited you in California a long time ago. Do I understand this? If I wasn't afraid of flying, I would have visited you in California a long time ago. So the condition is that. So we just like we are we build a negative sentence, yes, here. In fact, the real situation is that she is afraid of flying, and she regrets that. And she said, like, if I wasn't afraid of flying, like she makes it negative, a hypothetical situation, unreal for her. So then she explains that she would have visited somebody in another country, but she explains that she cannot do that because it's impossible for her. The situation is impossible because she's afraid. Do you understand that sentence now? Okay, very good. So let me try and give you some more. So maybe okay, maybe this one. If I were you, I would have quitted the job after the pay drop. Pay drop meaning that they didn't pay you at all. If I were you, I would have quitted, finished the job after the pay drop. Again, so it's hypothetical situation. You cannot be another person. So you just can place yourself on, like in the shoes of another person. But usually it's impossible. We do not have such technology. So, and we are talking about the situation that happened in the past. Maybe the person to whom you are talking is like regretful about that case. So if I were you, I would have quitted the job after the pay drop. So do you understand this type of mixed conditional? Very good. Thank you very much. So what I want to say is that mixed conditionals seldom used nowadays in oral speech, though you, of course, can hear them, of course. But people try not to use difficult constructions. It's better to split it into some easier maybe constructions and easier sentences with understandable tenses, not to make your listener confused. So that's why if you're, for example, upper intermediate or advanced student, of course, you must know how to use this mixed conditional type. But if you are just like intermediate student, just close your eyes and try to forget what you've learned today, because don't use them right now. It's too difficult and it will just spoil the situation with the conditionals. I strongly advise you, first of all, to understand how to use 4 general types. If you understand them perfectly well, and you do not doubt anymore which to use, where to use, and how to use, only after that try and mix them. Yes, because of course it takes some time to maybe to understand the structure and maybe to just understand for yourself what you want to say. Yes, so that's why just be careful with this type because it's quite tricky. Okay, so do you have any questions now? If you have any questions, you are free to ask about this type. So I will just show you one more time how it looks like. Again, I told you that now we are talking just about general things. They usually mix the second and the third type, but sometimes it's possible to mix the first and the second, but just seldom. But on some sites and in some reference books, you will see that if you just consult it. Okay. So do you have any questions about conditional sentences? Do you understand how to use them, at least the general types? Okay, for now, let's revise one more time what we've learned. So there are 4 conditional types. It's very important to know the structure of these types. So 2 types, 0 and the first, speak about the real condition. The second and the third speak about unreal condition. In 0 and first type, you use simple present. In type 2 and type 3, you use different pasts. Yes? You can interchange the parts, so you can use first if clause and then the main clause, or first you can use main clause and then if clause. So just be attentive and not to use will or would after if. So this is the strict rule that you need to remember. Of course, there are some special cases, but you need to think about them like about emphasizing something, emphasizing the idea. So that's why you shouldn't use them quite often. If we speak about mixed type, you remember type number 2 and number 3, and you remember, so if you put, for example, number 3 first in condition, it means that you think about past, but the result is in the present, and vice versa. If you put, for example, the second conditional after if, it means that you think about present, but the whole situation was in the past. So now need to practice. Yes, of course. So I think that for today that's enough. So I will send you the material now. Okay. Can you see it in the chart? No? Okay. Oops. No, 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 not like this. Okay. No, you cannot see that. Go. No, not like this. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. So let me think a little bit about it. How should I do that? Mm-hmm. Выбрать. Oh, I think I sent it just now for your email. So I think you need to check. So, but if you do not have that, we are going to add this material in our VK group so that you can download the material from there. And also we will prepare some printouts there or give some links to practical tasks. So that's why check VK today or tomorrow we will do that. So thank you very much for your attention. So hope that this webinar was quite useful. So and hope to see you in our school. And maybe if you can, please give your feedback in our group. Okay, thank you. So goodbye.